Satish is saying how to be disciplined in trading. That's a $64,000 question. That's like saying how to live life. But there is an answer. You first must have something to be disciplined about. Do you know how many people are sloshing around in the markets today and they don't have anything to be disciplined about? So not only are they not disciplined, they have nothing to be disciplined about. You understand? They don't have a method. They don't have a sound strategy. They're in chat rooms talking to bozos that are bigger than they are. They're surrounded by untalented traders. It's the worst thing you can possibly do, is surround yourself with people who don't know what they're doing. They're following news, which is the second worst thing you can do. If it were easy as good news I buy, bad news I sell, dude, we'd all be billionaires, right? It's not that easy. That's not the way it goes. You need first a sound technique, a sound strategy, a sound method, detailed. Once you get that, you have to practice and work on being disciplined, implementing that strategy, that technique, that method. Most people never in their whole lives ever arrive at something sound to deploy every day of their lives, every trade of their lives. So you must start there. And once you know, I have something sound, I have something that if I apply it will work over time, then you can work on being disciplined to carry that out. But what use is discipline when you have nothing to apply it to? There is this erroneous assumption that the markets have order, but the markets do not have order. This erroneous notion causes individuals to spend most of their trading lives searching for something that does not exist. They are going into the markets every day of their lives in search of a holy grail that is not in existence. They're looking for order. They're looking to try to figure something out in the markets. The market doesn't have order, people. You must bring order to it. The market is chaos theory in its purest form. You must bring order to the market. The market doesn't have rules. You must bring rules. The market can't stop. You must bring the stop. The market doesn't know when to go, when to start. You bring the start. You bring the stop. You bring the rules. You bring the order. You bring the discipline. The market doesn't have discipline. The market will not cut your losses off. You have to cut your losses off. The market doesn't know where to take profits. You must have rules to take profits. You bring the things that are needed. But you have millions of people trying to find those things in the market. They don't exist. And this is what I dedicate my professional life to teaching you how to do this the right way. And you can't go by your brain, not if you haven't arrived yet. How is the unsuccessful trader in a position to decide what is right for himself and what is wrong? Think about that. They're losers. They lose on almost every trade, but yet they have the capacity to determine, I think this guy is better. I think this mentor is better than that mentor. This program is better than that program. Dude, you can't pick a winning trade, but you can pick a winning method, a winning technique, a winning mentor, a winning teacher, a winning program. How? How are you in the position? How is the problem? You are the problem. How is the problem in the position of being able to identify the solution for himself? It can't be done. That is why you can't rely on a cerebral process to choose your mentor, your trainer, your program, your whatever. You have to use your heart. Now, I know that the heart has been largely downplayed when it comes to reason and activities that require logic, but this is wrong. In the beginning, you only have your gut reaction. You only have your feeling about whether something is true because there is something embedded in all of us that kind of can detect authenticity. We're born with it. It's inbred in our DNA. We can damage that sensitive nature, but for the most part, we have it. You ever walk down a dangerous street and for some reason you know that there's nothing specific that tells you to be careful. You just sense it. We have to be careful. There's something inside of you that knows, that can feel, that can sniff out authenticity. In the beginning, you have to rely on that, because if you rely on your brain, that's the same brain that's causing you to lose every single trade. Can't rely on that. And later, that brain becomes reconditioned by the proper training. A new consciousness emerges, a new way of seeing, a new way of being. But until you get that corrupted consciousness, that erroneous way of deciphering the truth in the markets, which is really a symbol of your ability to decipher the truth in life itself. Trading is a microcosmic version of life. So if you're doing it in the markets, you're doing it in your life. Until you correct that, you have to rely on that feeling that hopefully has not been damaged so much that you can't even feel, because then you're lost. A lot of people say, Oliver, I wish that I started when you started. I wish I started in the 80s and the 1990s. No, you don't. It was a lot more difficult. It was a lot more challenging. Technology wasn't the way it was today. Access wasn't the way it was today. Cost wasn't as low as it is today. You today have the very best scenario that you can possibly have. It is better today than it was when I started trading. It is better today than it was 5 years from now. It is better today than it was last year. It's better today than it was yesterday. Every day gets better in this business. Don't ever think that you're late to the game. You're not late to the game. I believe that we have 24-hour access trading coming upon us. It's just going to keep getting better, where you no longer have to make a choice as to whether or not you work during the day or trade during the day. You'll have the ability to trade 24 hours in your lifetime. This is coming up now. This is in the works now, where every stock's going to be 24 hours a day, globally accessible throughout the world. So trading itself is just going to keep getting better. The opportunities are going to keep proliferating. And I think the opportunities for pulling money out of the markets are going to proliferate as well. So don't ever think that you're too late to this.